Welcome back to your latest industry recap. A new aircraft order on the cards, 777 retirement updates, and ITA Airways expanding. Want to begin with that new aircraft order as Turkish Airlines inches closer to confirming a new deal as part of its own attempts to achieve growth. The carrier has, over recent years, made its intentions pretty clear. A strong focus has been placed on developing the fleet and business to be recognised as one of the largest airlines in the world. And as part of those plans, Turkish Airlines is also aware that there is a requirement for planes to be purchased. Not only will the planes purchased be able to renew the fleet, but also, if it brings in more next-generation options, it will be able to facilitate growth. Turkish Airlines has already secured many aircraft as part of the previous order. Specifically, I'm looking towards Airbus planes, which has been viewed as the first part of a two-part agreement. In February, reports emerged that the second part of the deal was now its sole focus, with Boeing as the likely destination point. However, with complications arising, certainly resulting in the delay of confirming the purchase, more was put up in the air. Those same delays are now being reported many months on from Aviation Week, which confirmed following the IATA annual general meeting in India that delivery slots have played a crucial role in their decision-making, and Boeing now must demonstrate that it can provide the airline with what it requires. The purchase, once finalised, would likely include well over 200 planes, with a split resulting in purchases for not just wide-bodies but also single-aisle jets, in a bid to develop all areas of the business and follow a similar pattern to a previously agreed upon Airbus contract. While the second part of the Turkish Airlines purchase has been long considered to be Boeing's to lose, the company certainly has not ruled out the possibility of switching to Airbus. While Boeing has been in pole position since the beginning of this year, if not before then, at least not publicly, complications surrounding those delivery slots, maintenance contracts, and more have opened up an opportunity that could be snapped away from them. Turkish Airlines understands the significance of this next aircraft deal that they place, which will take it into the 2030s, and enable it to compete with some of the world's largest airlines. This is a target it hopes to achieve. However, it requires delivery terms for planes that will benefit itself. And suppose they can't secure a deal with Boeing, well, in that case, Airbus would be sat and waiting, and would be the huge beneficiaries from a collapse in discussions with the American plane maker, as it would see both deals in the hundreds placed by the Turkish-based company head its way. Deals in the hundreds are becoming a lot more common as airlines attempt to secure delivery slots now for the next decade to make sure they can meet demand increases where possible. As a result, what this means is that slots for highly popular planes are beginning to be snapped up. Soon, the only opportunity to acquire new planes, at least the easiest way, would be through lessors. But even this avenue is facing quite a bit of pressure. Over to the next story, where Japan Airlines has provided another update surrounding the planned retirement of their 777-300ER fleet. The airline's managing director stated that the retirement of these long-haul jets is still some time off, delaying another postponement to the previously outlined retirement date. While only a couple of 777 jets have been retired at this stage, the axing of the remaining units is still something that is yet to be determined, as challenges within the business need to be overcome first. The retention of the 777s remain a matter of personal opinion, at least for the airline's managing director, but it is something that is certainly backed up by available data and just logic. The 777 remains a workhorse, and for the airline is seen internally as an important insurance across some of its international routes that require reliability and capacity. Certainly 3 words I'd take from that is insurance, reliability, and capacity. They feel that if they were to remove the 777s without already having a replacement in hand, well, the potential negative ramifications would be huge. And we unfortunately now live in an industry today where unless you have that replacement in hand, there's no point proceeding with fleet retirements or change, for you can then succumb to pretty hefty delays which go on to affect the business. The industry, as I touched on, has just become a lot more uncertain, and the acquisition of new planes arguably has never been more complex. So it means airlines are definitely holding on to their planes longer than maybe they would have ideally wanted, and the previously agreed upon retirement timeframe balloons out. For Japan Airlines, the A350-1000 is viewed as a like-for-like replacement for the 777-300ER. Before 2 777s had been retired, the airline's fleet of this type stood at 13, and they ordered an identical number of A350-1000s to act as the perfect successor. While the Airbus high-capacity jet has continued to integrate itself into the operation generation and is definitely fit for the purpose of flying with Japan Airlines, the delayed delivery of all aircraft really is complicating matters. Initially, it was thought that with the arrival of an A350-1000, well then Japan Airlines would fare well a 777-300ER, like for like, until there were no more 777s. Now it sits in a position where the delayed delivery of some of your more mid-sized planes to grow across markets means the 777s must remain. Simply put, Japan Airlines finds itself in a position where it's a little bit unfortunate so much as also lucky. It's great that it's continuing with fleet renewal efforts, and it should consider itself in a fortunate position where it even has new planes it can expect. However, in the more unfortunate set of circumstances, it can't really progress with fleet renewal because it can't trust the planes that it is meant to take delivery of are going to arrive on time. For the more short to medium term, they want to be able to leverage the 777's capabilities across their network, and they will make necessary changes to how they're flying this plane to mitigate capacity if required. Over to the final story. And ITA Airways is to continue with fleet expansion plans under the Lufthansa Group with the launch of new locations. The Italian carrier, which we know took over the reins from Alitalia, is seeking to evolve that long-haul network with a focus on international markets. They feel this has been a big positive and a way to increase market share and revenue. Now, with expansion at the centre of attention for ITA, new markets are expected to become within reach and implemented over the next 4 years. One international market of specific focus for the airline is direct service to Newark Liberty, a location that makes a lot of sense when you think about it, thanks to it being part of Star Alliance hubs like United Airlines and even having a presence of Air Canada. In fact, that is really a theme of where ITA Airways is looking to begin flying in the next few years. Obviously, with Lufthansa Group coming in, and even Lufthansa Group going as far as hoping to get a majority share in the company, we know that the first markets ITA will be looking towards are ones with a Star Alliance presence. It doesn't have to be Lufthansa Group, whether that stretches to the likes of United and or Air Canada. The ability to leverage these airports are going to be huge for onward connectivity opportunities, remembering that ITA Airways are leaving SkyTeam and will be heading towards Star Alliance, all thanks to the investment from Lufthansa Group. So as mentioned, Newark Liberty is one hot on the radar. However, away from Newark, we've also had the likes of Houston targeted, and that doesn't stop just there. Looking towards the eastern part of the world, their focuses stretch as far as Asia, with the belief that Japanese services can be enhanced in due course. I'd love to hear your take. Where do you personally believe that ITA Airways should be expanding in the next few years as they place a little bit more focus on long-haul flying rather than strictly European or domestic services? Thanks for watching, take care, be safe, and I'll see you tomorrow for your next recap.
And we'll fly.